Today, today is February the 1st of February 2026, and it's 6 o'clock. More or less, it's it's a Sunday. And it's been, as I will know if I had listened to the three previous recordings, it's been a bit of a rough week. It's getting dark outside now. It's kind of that time when it's not quite dark yet, so it's kind of darker inside even with the lights on. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Flo is in Marival. She's on her way back as I speak. She could arrive any moment. Tomorrow I've got to see Dr. Merite at 8:30. And then I've got the dentist in 10 days. But I started a new channel, Stockburn, and I uploaded lots of chess videos. And then I went on Gemini because I wanted to do a video about the kind of the drop in the crypto markets, and I was thinking I'd like to do a video and make the point that all the obstacles people talked about for years and years have been met, and yet the price drops. And I went to Gemini and I realized, oh my God, this is what everybody's doing, because you can just tell Gemini to pretty much do a small 5-minute script for you for a video, and then you just explain what the video is. And sure enough, Gemini comes up with this script, which is really good, a lot better than I could do, because in the script she's talking about ETFs and volatility, and they've got the actual numbers of the actual the drop, whether it's 10%, 20%, the amount of longs that have been liquidated, things that I wouldn't know. So, and then she also gave me, I say she because the voice is she, gave me some thumbnails that were AI generated. And so I made a video, which is about 3.5 minutes long, but I thought it was really cool because I don't sound anywhere near as professional as other people, but at least I'm not kind of talking like I am now, where I'm just kind of rambling and then I get to a point and there's a big pause. And at least with this, I actually used this device. I had my phone and I recited the script into this thing, and then I downloaded it into PowerDirector and I just put the things up. It was pretty easy. So I thought I can do videos like that with because I wanted to do a video about the Maltese Falcon for some reason. I had this dream that maybe if I pushed this channel it could take off and I could get up to 1,000 subscribers, and I could play chess, and I could have people in the comments giving me things they wanted to talk about as I played chess, and I could play maybe long games, 30 minutes, and maybe I could stream myself playing chess. And on other days I could upload videos with the help from Gemini about movies and about personalities and all these stories about interesting people throughout history, especially people that were very successful at one point and then things went wrong. Stories like that people like. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that be great if I could get going like that? I dreamt kind of like a fantasy. Can you imagine if there was some money coming in, enough maybe to pay the rent, and all you had to do is make videos and play chess? God. Anyway, I've been talking about a few things, but what I wanted to talk about here actually is the situation again. The situation with me and Flo. I went for a quick walk today, just not too far, down to where the houses are. Got rid of some rubbish, you know what I mean? And I had the thought, you know, whenever we have discussions, me and Flo, like we had the other day, those, not discussions, those, what would you call them? They're not arguments, they're kind of worse. And I always try and get to some point where I make things good again between both of us. It's kind of always my aim. It's like being you're the diplomatic envoy, and you're trying to create peace among the two warring parties, you know, come to some resolutions and solve the problems, and then we progress, so that I say something to Flo, and she kind of says, okay, I won't go on anymore about you having to go to Ireland. Let's say that would be a resolution. But it's kind of in my nature to get to the point where you clear up the bad feeling between you and you move beyond it. And hopefully I understand a bit more about Flo, her problem, and I made the suggestion that I could leave every day for a few hours so she has time, she has space on her own, you know. And I will also, I'm going to do some painting in the place and a few things to try and help. And then maybe she could do something. I don't know, but the big point I came to realize, I think, as I was walking this morning, is that all that is kind of nonsense. It's bullshit, and we've gone beyond that. And that's, I have to accept the fact there isn't really, you know, you I kind of said to myself, I can't mend bridges that I haven't broken. You know, I can't mend bridges that somebody else keeps destroying. And Flo keeps doing this stuff. And as far as she's concerned, she's completely valid and correct in what she says. And with me, the thing that kind of struck me when I'm looking back on this after a few days is that beside the idea that Flo seems to think I'd be happier in Ireland, I don't know if that's a genuine kind of thing, because I don't know how anyone would know that, but besides that, there isn't any discussion about my happiness. It doesn't come into the discourses we have. It doesn't come into anything. It's not like on the list, you know. You have to get a job and you have to do this. Yeah, but I'm going to be very nervous if it doesn't matter. Yeah, you have to go here and do this. Yeah, but I'm going to struggle. Well, that's not my problem. You have to do it. And if you can't, they have to go back to Ireland. And I'm not going to help anymore, and I'm not going to try and do this or that. You know, if I say maybe we could work on something where I can work from home or whatever. No, I'm not doing any of that. This was a lot clearer to me during my walk, and I'm not. It's not clear in my mind anymore what I'm trying to get at here. I would love kind of the situation where you have these arguments and these very emotional kind of, that was a very emotional day, and you get through them and you progress some way. And then I say, Flo, I'm sorry you have to put up with this and that. I'm sorry I'm a disappointment. I'm going to try and this and that. And maybe Flo would say, I'm sorry as well if I did this and that. And maybe she could put my mind at rest by saying certain things. I know she did say, oh, I'm not the type to throw you out. I wouldn't do that, which is obviously a big deal. But there is a gulf of difference between the two of us. And Flo doesn't have a nostalgic bone in her body. I've said this a few times. She doesn't have any sense of time the way I do. She doesn't think like I would. That, my God, we've been over 20 years together. I've been in France for so long. Doesn't that count for anything? She doesn't see things like that at all. And she will double down on everything, and she's not going to take anything back. And it's, as far as she's concerned, it's nothing to do with her whether I'm happy or not. It's up to me, and it's nothing to do with her. And there's no... She's not going to think about all the stuff she said to me and then come back and say, I'd like to talk to you, I'd like to take back some of the stuff because I think it was tough, and I think as I think about the time we spent together, blah, blah, there is no shred of that kind of comforting, that's the word. And I've kind of grown up with a lot of people who are very comforting in kind of in England and in Ireland, you know. 50 years ago, and I went to Questers, and I met a guy there who was doing a play or something, and I said I am finished with the theatre. I got kicked out of Drama Centre after 2 years. I'm on the scrap heap. I'm done. And he said, no, no, you're not. It's just that didn't work out, but something else will. Don't worry. It's and he was very positive and wouldn't allow me to talk about myself like that. That's people that they've got a soothing way of helping people. I can't remember the other word I used. It wasn't soothing and comforting. Comforting. My mother is comforting, you know. Martina is comforting. Anglo-Saxon people, I think, in their culture can be comforting. There's lots of sayings, you know, oh, don't worry, it'll never get that bad. Don't worry, things have a way of working themselves out. That's one I used. Don't worry, life's too short. There's so many. These notions of comforting. And I'm never going to get that here. And I'm kind of coming to terms with that situation. That I'm with someone who doesn't really want me here. And if I said I'm leaving, I'm going to go to Ireland tomorrow, you know, I think far from anybody being upset by that or anything, she'd probably throw a small party for herself. But of course I don't want to do that because there's two people here. This is maybe the thing Flo doesn't seem to get sometimes. She can't really dictate what's going to make me happy. But at the same time, she can't just kind of demand things. But I guess the gist of this conversation is now that the emotional pain has kind of disappeared a bit. I have to be aware that I've said it a lot, that there's no resolution, there's no, like in the past, I think sometimes we've been able to, and I've tried very hard to mend the bridges and to move us on and to make things better in the future, but none of that's going to happen. And so I have to just accept that I'm in a situation with someone who are the way they are, feel very strongly that they're in the right in the way they, in the way they talk to me, in the way they conduct things. And I can't just pack a bag and leave. I can't just go and start paying 700 or 800 euros in another place. That'd be crazy. And I know no one's kicking me out. But it's a change because it's like I kind of tend to come up with things to try and make Flo feel better. So, and it's, I'm going to paint the house. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you lots of space. I'm going to look for all this. As if, and I've been doing this in the past a lot as well, as if that's going to stop Flo and me from having these situations. It's going to stop her talking to me the way she does if I keep trying to come up with more and more ways to. But I realize it doesn't fucking work ever. There's no point in me saying, and I mean, I do want to paint because I think I may enjoy it. The place could certainly do with some paint, and it's going to, I guess, keep me busy and maybe keep Flo off my back for a while if I'm honest. But this notion of kind of, it's just stupid to be trying to make this situation work anymore, because it's not going to. Things have been said that have really kind of shattered me. And I know even if she was in the best form she could be in, if she was in great form and we had this conversation, she will still double down on everything she said. She's never going to get to a point where she's going to think, shit, that's really hurtful. And although I may feel certain of those things, I don't maybe have to say it quite like that. Or saying that my life's been completely just crap for 20 years is maybe a little over the top, and I could say, well, we've had some good times, but to say that I want to marry this guy and I didn't get that, and I just got this useless guy who's not even a man and he can't do anything, and I'm just continually disappointed by him, and I didn't want this, and I'm never happy, and it never makes me happy, and we never share anything, all this kind of stuff. It's a very bleak view of the last 20 years. This is a very long-winded kind of dialogue, I realize. And I'm probably, to anybody else's ears, maybe I may be sounding like an asshole in this, again, clutching at straws every which way to try and justify something or other. I'm not really trying to justify anything. The only thing I'm trying to do is come to terms with this situation and come to terms with the person I'm with here, and accept that that's the way they are and that's the way they feel about things, and that people are psychologically and emotionally and culturally, the differences are far greater than we could sometimes imagine, I think. Because to me, in conversations like that, it's so cold. It's like the person has no heart to say things like that. But to them, it's not like that at all. It's just a very practical description of exactly the way things are. And if it's tough to hear, then tough for you, because you're going to hear it. And the notion of loyalty, or in sickness and in health, and for better or for worse, and the promise that you got into, and some sense of loyalty to each other, it doesn't exist for people of a person of a certain type, of a certain psychology. Flo doesn't feel any of that shit matters in the least. Whereas I tend to put more emphasis on it. But maybe that's normal. Maybe it's because I'm the person that's being told to fuck off. So I'm tending to put more emphasis on the marriage and on all the time we spent together. And Flo has the opposite reaction of saying all the time we spent together has made me realize all the time I've wasted with you. I think a lot of it was to do also with Flo's state of mind, but I can't make her happy, and I can't make her content, and I have absolutely no control over the moods she's in. And when she's in good form, then it's pretty okay, you know. When she's in good form, life is kind of easy. We just do our thing, and we're civil. Civil has been using that word a lot. We're civil with each other, and we talk about stuff, and it's like a regular couple. But when something happens, if I like the other day when I didn't do those interviews, or when something happens to her and she's just feeling bad about stuff, she's going to just lose her mind again, and there is no filter or no limit to what she feels she can say. And so she's going to say those same things to me. She's going to spend another hour or two just telling me how absolutely fucking useless I am, and what a disappointment I've been, and how she'd love nothing more than for me to just fucking go away. I can't really fight that anymore, so. And for the longest of times, I would have loved to have fixed things and got Flo to see things a little bit more my way, and I could see things a little more her way, and we could somehow patch our differences and come to an arrangement that, hey, it's not the most passionate thing and we don't have a lot in common, certain things, but we can work at certain things. Like I said to her, I wouldn't mind going seeing your friends if that was possible. I don't mind going on holidays. I'm just not the type to organize things. But none of this matters. You say that to her. She doesn't really want to turn a new page. She doesn't want to start again. There is no fixing it. there's no fixing the bridge, and the thing I'm kind of trying to tell myself is I didn't blow the fucking bridge up. So I can't. Well, Flo would argue that. She'd say, well, you did over 20 years. You did. You were a disappointment. I would say, well, Flo, I am the way I am, and I've been like that since even before we got married, and you're aware of that. And it's a bit strange that you don't accept that some people are, not some, but everybody is different, and some people are more different than others. Anyway. 25 minutes of this thing. I'm really trying to come to terms with all of this and how to handle it, because I don't know what humour she'll be in when she comes back, like even now from Maraval. She may be in a shit humour. She may have spoke to everybody and they may have all told her, you've got to get rid of that fucking guy. He's just fucking sponging off you. No wonder he doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to sit at home, play games all day, and you work and pay for him. She may come home she may come back in a humour like that, and she may start off at the worst point of the I don't know what to call it. It's not an argument. She may start off at the worst point of that again. She may walk in the door and start saying, I've got to tell you something. Sometimes does that. I didn't want to tell you, but I'm going to tell you now. I've got this body where to tell you. I need you to go. Yeah, I need you to leave. I need you to get out. I can't live with you anymore. I don't want you here. I don't want you here. I need you to go. And then I'll be scratching my head thinking, where am I supposed to go? And she'll go, call your sister. Call your sister. And then I'll think, well, what do I do in a situation like that? It's so bizarre, because even just running through this scenario in my head, the first thing that comes to mind is kind of, yeah, I better go. Yeah, I'd because it's kind of suffocating. You want to run. Guys are like that. We want to run away. I do anyway. From emotional pressure cookers like that, you just want to get you have to get away. But I can't. There's the fear that Flo knows all this too, and it's if a relationship is based on various kind of power games, she's really in the driving seat at the moment, and there's nothing I can do. But I have to kind of, in those situations, you can kind of almost hear a lot of men around going, Jesus, dude, grow a pair of fucking balls, will you, for Christ's sake? If she says that to you, just tell her to fuck off. Yeah, but I'm not paying the rent. Well, I've got savings, I guess I could pay the rent. Tell her you're going to look for a job, and you're looking for a job, and when you get a job and money, then you'll go. Yeah, but you're never going to get a job. You're not looking hard enough. Yeah, but where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem. That's not my problem. Just go. God, then there's the thought. If I just said, oh, I'll go back to Ireland for a while. Not for a while, maybe she'd say, but then I could go, and I might find myself in a situation where I've got nowhere to come back to. A few years ago, I wouldn't be having this discussion, because I don't think there would have been any way I would have thought that things could ever get to this, or that flow would ever be like that. Now, unfortunately, it is like that. What am I going to do with this machine? I'm not sure. Ah, well, that's good kind of timing. Flo's just arrived. Couldn't keep talking anyway, but I'm not even sure if I'd like to upload this one. It's so fucking pathetic in so many ways. I sound pathetic to myself. But at this moment, on this 1st of February 2026, I'm a little fucked when I think of where I go next if things escalate again. You know, literally, where do I go? Yeah, but I need to stay here and get a job. Yeah, but you're not going to get a job, are you? Yeah, but I can't get a job if I've got... I'm talking like... No one's got the right to throw you out of your own home. Doesn't fucking matter whether you're working or not, seriously. I should look this up online. Anyway, I'm going to stop here. I'm probably going to delete this because it's fucking... It's just awful.